You win some, you lose some.
Can they hear this?
But you live.
Okay.
You live.
So this is y'all just
like a
went.
new student.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't.
Cool, right. I'm sitting there thinking like, when did the recording button get hit?
Y'all can talk. Just started.
Welcome to Let Us Speak, episode 33. 30. Yeah, this is 33. My name is Cecil Williams, your host. Thank you if you are listening everywhere. There is no visual, so don't try to look for it.
This is your Jesus episode.
This is Jesus episode. This is episode 33. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening. If you're listening on YouTube, we appreciate you as well. We are here. I'm your host with my usual suspect. Abraham is here. We're missing our other cohort, Osahon. He will be back soon. But we got a substitute. We got somebody in here. A good friend of mine, Steven, is here repping what he's repping. I don't know. But
I'm repping the 309, the Illinois. Hopefully I can be a decent alternative to Brother Osahon.
All right. Steven, where are you? Where are you from? You said from Illinois. How long did you live in Illinois?
I lived there for like 25 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it like
Boring?
How was it?
No. Is where I was in Bloomington, so State Farm headquarters, founded, all that. Our claim to fame. So there was an episode of a Scandal where they gave a shout out to Bloomington, Illinois. So I feel honored, but no. So Bloomington, Illinois, about an hour and a half of Chicago. A lot of people that come from Illinois say they from Chicago, but they really, to most people outside of Illinois, they think Chicago is the only city in Illinois.
Wow. How far are you from Evanston?
Ooh, Eastern Illinois. That's Eastern Illinois, right?
No clue. I just know it's a suburb.
I don't even know where that's
It's
at.
one of those places where people who are from Illinois, they won't say we're from Chicago. We're from like that specific.
They say specifically Evanston.
They just
I
tell
never heard
everybody
that.
else Chicago.
I'm thinking
just because
Charleston,
it's easier.
Illinois, and that's Eastern Illinois. I'm not sure where Evanston is.
All right.
Charleston. Ain't that in Ooh, I might sound real stupid.
Yeah,
might-
don't say it. Don't say it.
You might.
You know what I was about to say though?
What you about to say?
You talking about the Carolinas?
Yeah. I was about to sound real stupid, but let me shut up. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? Ooh, I'm loud. How are you doing?
Again.
Yeah, I'm
My
glad
bad.
you realized.
My bad. My
Man.
bad. My bad. Because I'm so used to more open space, so now I can hear myself like crazy right now.
Okay.
But
FYI,
I try to be
fellas, that
silent.
means we are in a new location.
yes,
That's his way of telling
new
you.
/ old location. This is where we first started. Where we first started For the Culture.
Flex on it real quick.
For the Culture was started out here in Riverside, California. But it's good to be back. Good to be in the studio vibes. Shout out to Dave for allowing us in here and doing what we do. But Abraham, well, actually, it's been a minute. I don't think we've potted together in about a couple weeks.
2-3 weeks. Yeah,
2-3 weeks.
I was on vacation last week.
How was your vacation?
It was good. It was good. Spending time with family, loved ones. I had a decent time. Definitely.
What'd you eat? I'm a foodie, so.
There was this restaurant called Twisted Roots. Good burgers for sure. They had
Twisted
like
Roots.
bison, regular beef, that fancy Wagyu beef that they had.
Wagyu beef
Never
is
heard of
that?
it.
What is that? What is that? Like Wagyu beef? Like is it
Just fancier beef, similar to like Kobe beef.
like filet mignon type? Are we on?
Nah, I wouldn't say all that.
Oh,
Not that
Can you
fancy.
get
Not
at
that fancy.
Can you get
Okay.
at the grocery store?
right.
Oh, most
Can
likely,
you-
yeah.
Okay.
You know what to look for, yeah.
Oh no.
Best prepared medium rare.
Medium
We
rare.
don't do well done around here at all.
Oh,
Okay. Well, we've had this conversation, but I used to do well done.
I don't like red in my meat, so I get all my steaks well done.
You might.
Somebody told me,
Well, they said if you do well done,
you might as well just eat a regular burger, and I don't agree with that.
well, they said if you do well done, then that's a risk, right? Or am I tripping? Like it's
No, that's rare.
People do well done to avoid the risk.
got it because I do well done, but people kept telling me no, don't do well done because one, flavor, two, it's is burnt pretty much.
No, that's not true.
Well, now I do medium.
That's an urban legend. That's not true.
Well, now I do medium. I do medium well done. I don't do well done.
Oh,
medium well done.
you graduated. Okay.
Shut up. No,
You like blood in your meat.
No,
You're
I
a
don't.
vampire.
No. I
Medium
don't.
well done is
Medium-
not even bloody.
Medium well done is not bloody at all.
Is it red on the inside?
Who's cooking for
medium
you?
well done.
Because the way you're describing it, you're making it seem like there's blood in your meat. Because that's not pause. But that's not. I just thought of that. But I'm saying, well done, medium well done for me is
Okay.
there's no blood in it at all.
There's no hint of red or pink.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but
It's all good.
Like I said before, I prefer my steak or burger to whisper to me when it comes. When it
whisper.
arrives, yeah.
Oh, that's a new
That's
echelon
so
of steak right
That's
there.
how-
I ain't never
that's
heard
how
of it.
bloody. I like it.
I don't.
Whisper?
I cannot do
It
that.
has enough flavor for me. I only
Steak
do-
whisperer.
So you're okay. So you're. I don't think I've asked you this, but you're okay with blood, seeing blood, and letting the blood just trickle on down.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Carries flavor.
That's a leap of faith right there.
Nah, I can't. I won't. Dave, do you do blood in your meat? There's so many answers you could.
I need to know the content of the podcast.
I know that's why I said it. That's why I said it.
Introducing me to new people.
That's why I said it. So I
Once. You said what? I did once.
Oh gosh.
I would ask a follow-up question.
No.
But I'm not.
No, you don't have to.
I don't want to.
Everyone can infer. I was in basic training, and we had a little break for like a day and a half.
Mhm.
I was desperate.
Man, if
So would you? I'm trying to think.
you're digging this hole, man.
Was it a burger or a steak?
It was a burger.
Got it.
Cosby Show
Say
reference.
Say less.
Cosby Show. Remember that
Um,
on the Cosby Show when he was Theo was referring to like fine or attractive people as burgers?
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I do.
Yeah, that was the thing.
I do. But I do. But speaking of television, I know there's this big hit show I have not watched, honestly. Maybe you guys can fill me in. Give me the summary of Lovecraft Country.
Oh.
I would probably watch it. I don't have HBO Max.
Yeah,
on HBO Max?
HBO
I don't
HBO
have
Max.
I
I give you.
I'm
I will
assuming-
give you the credentials.
I'm assuming it's great because Smollett is in it. So anything,
Yes.
anything the sister, not the dude, the liar. Anything that
Well, acting is lying, but
she, well,
but
give or
we
take,
know
give or take. But
in
we
her
know,
real life she did not lie
Right.
about. Yeah,
she's been phenomenal in a lot of her stuff. So
Absolutely.
she's been dope. But Lovecraft Country, I don't know what it is. I just know it's sci-fi and black people, and
that's an oversimplification of it, but
that's all I know.
okay.
So
Abraham, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I wouldn't say it's sci-fi. I would say it's more supernatural.
from what I've read,
There's
It's-
a lot of different genres
Yeah.
that compile into one with that.
The beauty of Lovecraft Country is that it flips H.P. Lovecraft's work, because when you look at just his literary material, one of the great writers of all time, especially when it comes to, I would say, like the horror genre.
Okay.
However, he was a well-known racist, and he did not like black people at all.
whoa,
That makes this even more interesting to know. No. No, it definitely puts you back in the mindset of 1950s
Yeah.
America.
so I might get angry.
No.
Oh, well, not angry like
Yes and
that.
no.
Yeah.
So it's not like on Rosewood type of like.
So again, because HP was like everybody, you're familiar with HP Lovecraft if you know of Cthulhu. That was
Yeah.
his creation. But he also has others, such as the End Man.
Okay.
Yeah,
I am not familiar with his work.
Yeah, that's also one of his others. Which
Yeah, I'm learning right now. So
Me too.
which speaks very highly towards his love of
African Americans.
African American people.
Okay.
But with this show, and shout out to Journey Smollett, she's doing a great job.
Absolutely.
And I forgot the name of the dude.
Majors. He just landed
Jonathan
a role.
Majors?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I've seen him on.
He just landed a role with Marvel.
Oh yeah. First of all right.
Oh wait, word?
Yes. He's going to be the
Kang
next
the Conqueror.
the next
and,
villain of Phase 1, right?
Really?
Phase 4. Yeah. So
yeah, 4. I'm sorry.
the problem is he's going to be in the next Ant-Man movie. The problem is that I don't think the general public understands what this means.
We don't, because when someone told me, "Oh, he's gonna be next King," I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Well, no, not just that, but in terms of the racial social climate. Jonathan Majors from.
So Kang was originally not Caucasian.
No,
Black?
Kang is the descendant of the Richards family. And if you are having a black man playing this character, more than likely that means either Franklin Richards, Mr. Fantastic, or Dr. Doom could be a black man.
So it just trickles on down, huh? The effects.
No,
it's so far in time that you could be
because
like
he time travels.
But the seeds are being planted.
You can but given the racial climate of 2020, it's more than likely that one of them.
Well, they first did that with Thor, where they made
Heimdall.
yes, him.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember the second iteration of this reboot of Fantastic Four when Michael B. Jordan was the Human.
That's not a reboot.
I
don't know what you call that.
Fantastic Four. I
Michael B. Jordan was cast as the Human Torch.
Yeah,
that bothered people
because of Michael B. Jordan, or just the whole movie in general.
Various reasons, depending on who you ask.
I'll say that too.
I mean, I'll tell you this right now: that movie was terrible. Acting was terrible.
Really?
People don't like Michael B. Jordan as an actor. I don't mind it.
A lot. No, that's the thing.
In some, there's some stuff that they try to put him in. I'm like, he doesn't need to be in this.
Did we like him as Killmonger?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
but when it comes to other stuff,
there's still people that say that they didn't. He wasn't convincing.
Oh yeah, there's definitely people who say that.
Like they say when he gets angry, he lose relatability a little bit because it seems forced sometimes. Yes, he was.
Fruitvale Station, Creed 2.
He works well with Coogler. So
absolutely
anything outside of that,
absolutely. Dave
what's
has
your story, Dave?
Come on, Dave. Come on down, Dave. Dave that's not here.
I had a client one time. He came in, real short story. He was telling me about how he can't stand cops because his cousin was the actual brother that got shot at Fruitvale Station
in Oakland.
Yes, and so he was telling me this long story about how he can't stand cops and how they keep on racially profiling us and this and that and all types of stuff, and how white people need to do better with understanding the plight of the black man in America. And so then that was one part of our conversation during the day. The next part was he asked me if I was married, and I was like, yeah, I'm married. Such an amateur. Jeez, put it on silent. So then he proceeded to ask me if I was married, and I told him that I was. And so he was like, oh, okay. Well, what race is your wife? You don't mind me asking. Oh, she's black. She's like, black? And I was like, yeah, I don't do nothing else. Just black. If it's not brown, I don't get down. Straight up, bro. He was like, that's it? Nothing? I was like, no, I don't do no white girls. I can't stand white women. I don't like what they look like. I don't know what they smell like. I'm just not attracted, period. Nothing wrong with them.
The thoughts and expressions expressed by Dave are not a reflection of Let Him Speak
find
podcast.
Out that later on, after the session was over, and he was so happy during the session. He sent me an email later. I could probably find the email where he said that he was upset by my comments about white people, even though he was bashing white people during our other conversation because his wife was also white. That was my story.
So he's conflicted.
Right. So you're mad. You're mad that black people didn't get enough.
But then you besmirched my wife's name.
Yo, that's wild.
In his mind, it's like,
right.
You know how I am, bro. I thoroughly explained why I wasn't attracted to white women. Thoroughly.
And then he got upset because, Lord and behold, his wife was Caucasian.
So are a lot of Mexicans.
I
Lovecraft Country.
so Lovecraft.
Yeah. So Lovecraft Country, basically, it's a show that definitely looks about empowering the black people. And,
I couldn't-
flips the script.
It does.
Something
So
about that actor though. I haven't seen the show. All I know is when I seen him on an interview after a post game in NBA on TNT, I seen him, and I'm like, he was weird. Like, you ever seen if you watch football, Adam Gase from the Jets coach?
no.
Like, that's how he was looking on the screen, and it was like, yo, you look a little, I don't know what's going on, but gotta get it together. So that actually turned me off from even watching Lovecraft Country.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not even gonna get into it.
So Lovecraft Country, it's basically, you know, I started. It's basically about it's based in the 1950s, a very segregated, racist America, of a black man who just left. He's in the military. He's coming home because his father has went missing. So it's kind of chronicling, you know, him coming home, and then just these mysteries or these secrets that
Following the Korean War.
correct. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, the Korean War, and which that ties into the show as well. Beautifully well written show with definitely there's not just one genre that this falls into. It falls
So
into
is the foundation like a lot of racial?
Well, you
It's
got
that's racially motivated.
That's sprinkled in there.
So J.J. Abrams, Jordan Peele,
Peele,
Misha Greenwood,
yes.
they're all
Peele?
responsible
Say no more.
for this project.
Oh, you definitely watch it and
Say
see
less.
like that's definitely a Jordan Peele thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
all the way.
The music
all the
is
way.
definitely hands on. You know, it's funny because it's 1950s, but they overlay the music to modernize it for 2020. So it's 1950s,
Right.
but they'll
There's a
bust.
mix of both.
Yeah, they're definitely bust the old school music, and then they'll bust out Cardi B money.
Yeah,
I
that was
got
the
money.
last. That was the last episode. They had
Yo,
Cardi
that-
on it.
Yeah,
It's
I was
crazy.
like, okay, this is different.
Jordan
But it's
Peele.
a great balance, in my opinion, of
Right.
the music selection
Correct.
because you still get those old school vibes. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, I wouldn't say just the Negro spirituals, but old school blues,
Right.
the original blues, anyway.
And the music that they put in that is modern, it makes sense. It's not
Yeah,
like
it
it's
fits.
just so
It
off the
fits.
wall.
Yeah.
Like that when they included the Cardi song.
Yeah.
it fit with the character that it.
And that moment,
yeah,
yes.
in that moment for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
What I'm noticing though is, like, even though I haven't seen it, if we know it's racially, there's some racial parts in it that are motivated for this series. What I'm noticing though is there's more movies, more shows, more movies that are
Mhm.
now inspired by racism. Pretty much what's going on.
To be honest with you,
I've heard people that are like, I'm tired of
dude,
you know, why are all of a sudden all the movies are now dedicated to racism and all this stuff. There's black people that said it
dude,
too.
to be honest with you, I get that mindset or that aspect of it. You literally forget about it sometimes when you're watching this show.
How?
They remind you that it's racism because there's aspects of it that don't even focus on race. You don't. It's just the interaction with who they have when they have interactions with other races. When Abraham,
When you say forget though, forget how? Like they forget
because
the emotion,
the
how they
whole
feel?
because the foundation, the premise isn't based on racism. It's just the time and setting is based in its racist era, which actually ties in so beautifully with this script. I mean, if you watch it, so when you watch episode 1, you think, here we go again. You know what I'm
They
saying?
hit you with a lot in episode 1.
They do,
Yeah.
they do. But
And
when
like
you,
the way episode 1
scared me.
ran, you would believe like, okay, this is the plot of a movie.
Yes.
Like, this is a one-shot film. We got
that
beginning,
last 10
middle, end,
minutes,
good.
that last 15, 20 minutes, you're like, where did this come from?
You just like, oh, so he accomplished his goal. No, he did
Oh,
not.
he's not done.
Wait, but this is just episode 1.
Right.
So where do we
Got
go
it.
from here?
There's like layers to this, like, and then you think, okay, I get it, and then the way it ends, it's like,
But I do have to disagree with you. I don't think it makes you forget about racism.
okay,
If anything, it educates. Because for me, I think it was episode 2, I had no idea until I watched Lovecraft Country what sundown towns were. I
You
had
didn't?
No.
Oh.
Never learned about it in school.
okay,
Never heard about it before. I mean, like, you know, I'm from Jersey. I would hope we don't have any history of sundown towns in Jersey.
okay,
But watching that episode and especially the significance of the White House too. In terms of when they were in the diner, and they were like, Tick. That's Jonathan Major's character's name, Atticus.
Atticus.
So a sundown town is basically a town where, as a black individual, if you're there past sundown,
You get
it's
killed.
fair game.
It's fair game. It's like Purge
Wait.
for black
In
people. No.
Oh,
At that time,
got it.
At that time, they said that. Do you know what a sundown town is? Basically, when the sun comes down, it's
fair
open
game.
season for you, for black people.
Dealt with.
Yes.
Hey, cities across America, usually
Yes.
in rural areas.
I didn't learn about that.
Go ahead.
I got married in 2012.
Okay.
Okay, and it's a city of Fallbrook. If you're going towards San Diego, I don't know if you guys have ever been out that way. Have you?
No.
Okay. Anyway, long story short, I got married.
Mm-hmm.
Like the day of the wedding, my wife was getting married, so me and my homies, all my groomsmen, we went to CVS. We went to CVS to go get the stuff that we needed, and we were getting followed around the store. And it's like as soon as we got in, and then as we were coming out, a boy, not a boy, but a dude.
That's
drove
what they thought
by.
you were.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Boy.
A dude
Right.
drove by and said, "Boy, you better not be out here when the sun goes down."
Yeah.
2012.
2012.
Oh no, those sundown towns are still present today. Once
And-
I found out about that, I did some more research. They still exist.
This is Fallbrook, California, very rural. Where we were, it was very just like desolate, and so it was a trip. He told me he drove by in the car. He said, "Don't be outside when the sun goes down." So
Yeah.
I just always remember when that triggered me.
Watching episode 2 will do
Sundown
volumes
towns.
of just exactly how it works, because you'll have law enforcement tell you like, "Hey, you're good now, but if you're here by sundown, like
Absolutely.
I will be one of those hunting you down."
Right.
Like,
Sundown towns,
it's
also
fair game.
known as sunset towns, gray towns, or sundowner towns, are all white municipalities or neighborhoods in the United States that practice a form of racial segregation by excluding non-whites via some combination of discriminatory local laws, intimidation, and violence. Entire sundown counties and sundown suburbs were also created in the same process.
Mm-hmm.
Signs posted that colored people had to leave town by sundown. That's crazy.
So let me go back with Abraham. I see what you're saying about the whole not racism. I guess I guess a better way to say is like that's not the core. Would you agree that that's not the core of what the show is about, or just one element to it?
I have to disagree with that one too. It's
okay.
more so that so
Sure, I'm trying to look at the sundown
The
town. So I don't have to go
the
there.
focal point isn't racism, right? Do you not think? Well, no,
I think it
because
is. I haven't even watched it.
and I had to change that thought too, because especially when you get to episode 5.
yeah.
That's
And like
where-
here are the two biggest I guess aspects of the show. It's racial norms
Correct.
and then gender norms.
Correct.
Because episode 5
Correct.
blatantly that's what is.
Yes.
You always knew about it, like episode 1 and 2,
And what
but
they
by
would-
episode 5
and what
you knew
they
for sure.
the things that they would say
Yeah.
to Christina. So basically, this dude is on this journey to find out why his pops left. They go searching for him and they discover some things. Is this a spoiler free, or is this a spoiler?
Nah, look, if you haven't watched,
spoiler alert, just in
if
case.
you haven't watched I was about to
Sundown-
say
See?
Sundown.
If you haven't watched it,
I'm not watching that show. If that was everyone. If you haven't watched Lovecraft Country, just stop this episode right here.
Yes.
Because it's hard to not give spoilers
It
after
is.
after already having seen, and we're going to only cover the first 5 episodes because
Yes.
we don't want to spoil too much.
and that's the only episodes that are out right now.
Yeah. By the time of this
Right.
recording, there will be episode. By the time this recording is out, there will be a 6 episode.
Correct.
But if you haven't seen it, then just turn it off. Come back next week. Mainly, look, episode 1, Atticus comes back from the Korean War.
Yes.
You also have Journey Smollett's character, Letitia, come back from whatever she was doing.
Right.
She was a free-spirited woman who,
Absolutely.
low-key, I guess to simplify, she was a con artist, kind of.
Yes.
That's the kind of lifestyle she
Yeah.
lives.
She was a con artist. She basically always asked family for favors, for
Yeah.
money, to kind of basically move around the country in the name of racial equality. But you learned that other things were going on.
Yeah, and the way her character is
She was like a
portrayed,
beggar. Like she just begged for money
Pretty
and stuff in
much.
the family.
Kind of, yeah. You know, she bumped from her family when she could, but she was out there doing whatever, you know. When you meet her and the way she's portrayed,
who's kids?
the way she's portrayed, you would think like she's promiscuous until I think about episode 4. You find out that that's not the case at all.
Correct.
But yeah, episode 1, Atticus, he comes home. He's looking for his father who's been missing. His mother has passed away, but there's something about the mother side of the family that's always been kept secret. Like,
and it's blatant that the uncle doesn't want him to find out.
Yeah, so the uncle who
find out what?
His past.
The truth about his past.
Oh.
And so the uncle is like, you know, so the uncle makes guidebooks.
Correct.
Which I've seen the Green Book, but it didn't really do a great job of capturing the significance of guidebooks around that time, which was guidebooks were made to help black people navigate areas that they shouldn't be around. You know, in the guidebook, that's where you would see like, okay, that's a sundown town. We're going to stay away from there. This is a place that is forthcoming to black individuals. That's the place we go to. So that's what the uncle does. The uncle and the wife, Hippolyta.
Yep. Who?
Hippolyta.
Her name is Hippolyta.
Yeah, very, very Greek.
Hippolyta.
I feel like we're going to be in tune.
A whole lot of hip. Like, that's what I think. Like,
we're going to be in store for something crazy.
By the episode.
Hippolyta. It's a Greek name.
I did not know that.
I can't believe you spelled it.
I thought it was. It sounded super country to me.
Hippolyta.
Nah,
so it's Hippolyta. Like that's how
Hippolyta. Yeah, it's a Greek name.
All right. Okay.
So
all right, Hippolyta.
Eventually, you know, Tick wants to find his dad, and he believes that there's something more he needs to find. Like, this is a chance for him to learn more about his mother's side of the family.
And the purpose of what sparked this, he's like, his dad never talks to him.
Yeah.
So basically,
they have a very strained relationship.
They have a strange relationship. So what brought him home was this letter that he got, because that you find out that his dad really, they have very estranged relationship. So
Right.
it's like, he doesn't sound like himself. So he gets the letter, comes home. Now he's going to go on his father hunt. And the uncle is like, I'm going with you.
And then Letitia, you know, she was like, well, you know, I like to travel. I'll go with you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so they go on a journey. They go to this county, which on a map, there's a picture of a Grim Reaper. And they're like, yo, Arkham County or whatnot. Or Ardham County.
Right.
So guidebooks are basically for black folks to navigate through. So if you see an image of like this, it's like, okay, death.
Don't go there.
Yes.
You don't want
Got
to
it.
But this is also at a period of time where in their minds we're equal. And, you know,
we're supposed to be equal.
We're supposed to be equal. And we're the notion of freedom writing, freedom writers, freedom fighting is definitely, we're taking a stand. So they make an attempt to do this at this.
And keep in mind, again, that the time period of this is right before the civil rights movement in the 60s.
Correct. This is
So
1955.
Yeah. Because the Korean War ended in 53, so it might have been like 54, 55.
Okay.
So they go on this journey, and of course, while they're doing so, they come across some different stuff. Like, Tick notices that there's this like silver gray. I don't know what. It'd be easy to just say Cadillac because those were popular at the time.
Cadillac.
That was
old school caddies.
Yeah, old school, massive, like sleek, very clean. That was following them. He notices that, and they actually make it in episode 2. They actually make it into a sundown town, and the sheriff.
That's episode 1.
Episode 1, episode 2.
Huh.
Well, episode 1 ends with at the cabin, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 1. So they're in the diner, which, according to the guidebook, was supposed to be forthcoming to black people. That's not the case because the former owner was a black woman. So when they get into the diner, they notice that, it's under white establishment. And they're like, you know, we're just here being peaceful. You know, we would just like to order something to eat. There's a white man who's there as a customer. And as soon as they enter, again, 3 black people, 2 of them dark skinned and Journey Smollett light skinned. He walks out. So they're sitting down there. Busboy, the dude at the counter, goes to the back and makes a phone call to the new owner of the place.
And Journey overhears this conversation.
Yeah, because she was going to go to the bathroom, but then she overheard the conversation. The conversation is basically like, "Yes, sir, I didn't serve them. Yes, I know exactly what you did to the previous owner.
Right.
What do you want me to do?" And so she's already getting scared. And so Atticus is talking to his uncle, and he's just looking around, and he's like, "It's awfully really white in here, like in terms of the color of painting." So he asks that, his uncle, what's the significance? Can you remind me of the significance of a white house? And his uncle reminded him, like, basically that's what was done after they burned down an establishment or a building that was owned or inhabited by black people.
I did not get that until just now. So they didn't slide a piece of wood across, and they're burn marks. Next thing you know, Letty Journey comes running out. We got to get the hell up out of here. Like,
they gotta go.
They gotta go. As they're getting into the car, three white boys
in a pickup truck
with
guns,
like,
and sirens. You also hear sirens start chasing them
and
down.
The sun is very much up.
Yeah, the sun is already. It's not even night.
Right.
You would probably think like, it's
like
maybe
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, sheesh.
And so they start racing out of there, and the sheriff pulls up.
No. Wait, before that, is that no?
Okay, no.
The
sheriff doesn't pull up. They start chasing them.
They start chasing.
That
happens. Silver car comes again. So you see the silver car come at an angle towards them, get behind them to create distance between them and the truck following them. Next thing you know, silver car turns into the middle of the road. Now, looks like the truck is going to collide with the car. A few feet from it, the car just flips. The truck flips over
as
the car.
if it hit an invisible wall.
Yes. So now it's just like, I'm in.
So this is where the sci-fi part comes in.
Correct.
Sci-fi.
This is where I said, I'm sold. I'm in. I need to know what that's about.
Matrix type stuff.
Absolutely.
All right.
And so then,
wait, is the season over?
No.
Oh no, it's not.
How many episodes? 8 or 10? I don't know how many.
I don't know the
episodes.
I hope it's.
Got people.
I hope 8 to 10. They definitely got another season. They better.
Oh yeah, definitely. With how much stuff that like they introduce you with so much like.
Absolutely.
They in the first episode you're introduced to the Sons of Adam, which is basically like an Illuminati type group.
Correct.
You find out basically the big thing about this show is that Atticus, his bloodline is connected to the founder of the Sons of Adam, who was a white man. So that means that somewhere along the way,
down the line,
what was it, Timothy or Thomas Braithwaite? Titus Braithwaite, slept with one of his slaves.
We're definitely nerding it out right now.
Yeah, I'm
like one of his slaves who then escaped, and that's the bloodline of Atticus.
Correct.
So he actually is one of the last remaining members of the Titus family.
Correct. And he has abilities that he does not or not aware of as of yet.
And so this is where the supernatural comes in, because now you're introduced to magic and all of that stuff.
And there's still additional.
There's still so much more.
There's still so much more to this.
Yeah, I feel like I'm all caught up right now.
No,
that's just episode 1.
That's one?
That's just episode 1.
And
you know what I forgot?
What?
The way episode 1 starts. The dream.
Yeah, because when it hits off, it's like, oh, here we come the weirdo stuff. Like, you're like, what is it getting at? I thought that woman that came down was Letty. That's not Letty.
No, I have to definitely, because it hits different now after everything that's happened. I definitely have to go look back and rewatch the intro. But he's basically
having a dream.
He's having a dream, but it starts off, he's in the trenches. So you're
military trenches.
In hindsight, you know that, okay, this is during his time during the Korean War. So he's in the trenches and he's just, getting hit with mortar and all that stuff running. Then he comes across like an alien just comes down.
And someone comes down out of the sky.
And you're just like, oh, what's going on?
A Jackie Robinson type figure.
Oh, yeah. The Jackie Robinson is in there.
And destroys
all right.
Yeah. And then Cthulhu comes out from behind him. And that's who Jackie Robinson takes a bat to. And the music that's playing is so eerie, but it's so fitting.
Yes.
Basically, more of the story is just go watch.
Just go watch
Country.
It had
so
each
much.
episode has a different
feel,
character,
different focus.
Correct.
Shout out to Michael K. Williams also, if you're familiar with The Wire.
Who that is? Oh, yeah, dad.
If you're familiar with The Wire,
supposed dad. Right.
Well,
there's layers.
Well,
to
shout
this.
out to Pill. Then I feel like Pill's like
I'm
on
sorry
a roll.
sorry for boring you there, sir.
No, you're good. Kind of, but I've always had an interest in trying to see it, wanting to see it. Like I said, Smollett does a great job. Anything with Peel in it does a great job. Peel, I feel like, is on a run. If you know producer like Hit Boy, I feel like they're both on a run right now. That's impeccable, especially on the music side with Hit Boy. So out to him. He dropped, helped produce another album with Big Sean. Detroit 2 was actually pretty amazing.
It was.
It was amazing. I like it. Now shout out to Hit Boy. Helped produced Big Sean's record. He's been on a roll. He has another one coming with I believe a rapper Benny the Butcher. He helped Conway. Just dropped his
Shout out to
joint.
Griselda.
Griselda, man. They're dropping heat, a lot of heat lately. And Hit Boy, of course, linked up with Kanye. They made this trifecta pretty much to help produce Big Sean's record Detroit 2. And so, like, Kanye, I feel like he still gets his number dialed frequently for records, no matter how sometimes off the wall he may sound. People still hitting him up to produce some stuff. And let's not forget, like, Kanye's still one of the all-time greats. Still one of the all-time great producers. I don't care, what the stats look like or whatever. He's one of the all-time great producers with everything. I know that ain't no but. He is.
Okay.
I know that recently he's been on a Hall of Fame rant right now on Twitter to the point where, like, Twitter took his account, suspended him for 12 hours because he was just tweeting too much, pretty much. And
have you seen
some
Donald
people
Trump?
Huh?
Have you met Donald Trump?
I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm not relating that.
He tweets a lot.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying when it comes to the music industry, what Kanye is doing, and his whole stance right now is ownership. He's like, hey, I want my rights back. I want my masters. I want all this stuff back. The whole situation with him and Sony and Universal is they have his masters. He wants his own masters. What happened was, though, Jay-Z, because Jay-Z kind of was, in a way, brung Kanye into the fold, had a percentage of his masters. So in order to get his own masters back in his name with Jay-Z, Jay-Z pretty much gave up Kanye's masters to Sony. So now Kanye's like, okay, I need to go to Sony to get my masters back. So now he's on this whole like rampage right now of pretty much spreading the message like, hey.
Didn't Kanye tweet disputing the fact that that claim that Jay-Z sold his masters?
What else could happen, though? That's the thing. Like, Jay-Z had some of Kanye's masters because Kanye was a part of rock at some point in time.
The fact that Kanye then tweeted like saying that I'm gonna get both our masters back.
Yeah, that part. Well,
I don't know what Kanye.
I don't that part. I don't know what's untrue enough for that because Jay-Z has his masters. He got them. So when it comes to Sony Universal, though, he's right now currently still under them. He's trying to
help me understand the importance of having your masters.
So the importance of having your own masters is it leads you to now have full creativity over your content, over your anything you do,
which is big in the music
industry. It's huge. Back in the day, just to, I guess for those who are listening, give like a music tutorial. David would actually help out with that. Help great. But back in the day, music labels were important because internet wasn't as popping as it is now. You didn't have SoundCloud back in the day like that. You didn't have certain outlets and resources, streams and data and all this stuff back then. So you needed the record label to really push your stuff. Now, granted, these artists, though, wasn't getting the money that they should be getting back in the day. Okay. So because a lot of that money was going towards the label, their distribution, their teams, their engineers, all this stuff. So now, as years go by, time goes on, music improves, technology, all this stuff. Now it's like, well, why do we need you? Like, why do we? What's the point of having a label when it's me, the artist, and the internet? And quite frankly, the internet's more interactive as ever. You have Twitter. I can tweet a music video instead of going to YouTube for all I care. Like, that's where it's at. Correct. So when you look at what Kanye's doing, Kanye's saying, hey, all you artists out there, pay attention. These labels are pretty much, you're like their slaves, which was his language on Twitter. He was like, you are their slaves. These are like slave owners, and we need our rights back. We need our power back. Some may say, hey, he's crazy based on the history of his tweets, based on the history of how he talks. The first thing is if people say is, nah, Kanye's crazy. Here he goes again. However, I'm on the side that
But
I
it's
agree.
always been a thing.
It's always been a thing, but we haven't really had as much
We were supposed to
access though.
but we always kind of known that the music industry, as far as production, as far as ownership, always fell into the hands of the label, not the artist.
Right. But why? That's the part where I think,
Why what?
why does it have to?
Because the media, and I think Chance the Rapper hinted at this, which is why he's never been on a label. But they tell you they'll give you all this money, so if you got to produce this amount of whatever, we'll
Right.
take care of the marketing, the branding, the tour dates. We'll get all that stuff to
It's
you.
also because, if you recall, we talked about this with Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand the contract language
Yep.
that they sign.
They don't understand it.
They hear
Send
money,
out-
and it's
yeah.
more money than they've ever made.
It's a way out.
And they don't realize they're getting taken severe. And I think we were exposed to that when we watched that TLC documentary,
Yeah.
but how they were just raked over millions of dollars.
In the beginning, as an artist, you think, I need to get this money quick. I want to get out. I want to be successful.
And they know that you're ignorant of the language of the industry, so they're taking advantage of.
Very few artists have control of their catalog, and I think Prince and MJ,
Michael Jackson,
They took
both
control of
had-
that.
Yeah, they
like,
made sure.
quickly.
And, actually,
And they're no
MJ
longer
had
with us.
Control of more.
You said who?
Control of.
I think Michael Jackson didn't he take Prince's?
No, he
No,
didn't
the
take
Beatles.
Prince's, but he had
The Beatles.
I think the Beatles and part of Elvis's, because I know
Mhm.
Sony wanted to have their hand on that catalog, but Michael
Mhm.
Jackson's catalog was massive. So shout out to the artists that are able to keep.
Yeah,
control.
I don't mind it. I don't mind what he's standing for right now as far as on that the musicality side. Like, there's too many avenues right now
Right.
for an artist to prosper, pretty much. There's too many.
Pretty much. And when you look at streaming, that doesn't benefit the artist. It just benefits the company.
You only get like a certain percentage of that, which is
Right.
dang near cents. Like, going to the artist. Everything else is going towards distribution team, the producers that they probably
Right.
give you.
And even
if not-
YouTube has made it even more difficult
Yeah.
for you to monetize.
Everything is about ownership right
Correct.
now. Everything.
Correct.
And at this point right now, even going down to, even if you want to relate it to even sports, where the NCAA, and then you have music, where these record labels, right now, everybody is kind of like, if they find out, if the artist finds out, if the athlete finds out that they can do without us, we're in trouble.
Correct.
And that's the part where they want people like Kanye to shut up. I mean, I seen Hit Boy put out a post a couple days ago saying, hey, me and Kanye really don't see eye to eye like that. But I agree with him on this. Like, this is, the labels take so much away from the artists. They take so much material, the content, everything. This is the same fight that, I guess, on a podcast level that, and I mentioned this in the chat a couple days ago, that Joe Budden is talking about. He's simply saying, hey, if we're creating the content, if we are doing all of this, why are we not seeing none of the money coming directly to us? Why is it that a percentage of this stuff that we are creating is going to everybody else when they'd had no input or no kind of anything on what we do?
Because you didn't read the fine print.
But why? But that's the point. Like, let's get rid of all these 20-page contracts. Like, just shoot it to me straight, and don't try to manipulate us.
Yeah, that's not how business works.
Right? No.
Right.
And I get that. But in a nutshell, that's pretty much what a lot of these artists are saying at this point now.
So in order to do that, you would have the artist will also need a legal team to develop the contracts, and a lot of those people aren't are relegated to certain organizations like Virgin Records and Rockefeller and Universal, all of those. So there's definitely a legality that you have to look at when it concerns to that. But also at the same time, it's like they create the system to make you feel like you can't survive without their help.
Right.
So it's marketed just like the same connection can be made between the music industry and NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
Like they profit so much off of these black artists, off of these black athletes, and to try to create a whole nother system is just like the issue would be how many people would be willing to drop off their labels in order to organize and establish this new entity, which as we can see, trying to get a collection of people together, they're gonna put some type of obstacle up against that.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of artists won't fall into that just because they think that if I go and unionize and leave the label, some people will think that is I'm abandoning my future in a sense. Because how you signed the label, when you signed, you automatically think, okay, I'm signed. I'm going to now be successful. I'm going to now get out of what I'm used to or where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have the situation or this decision of, okay, I have the choice to own my own content, and I'll say this. Kanye can say this because, of course, he has the money to buy out anything, buy out Sony, buy out anybody. He's rich, so that's that. But when it comes to artists that probably don't have it like that, and you're in a decision where you need the label to supply, and you need the label to provide some things.
Right, 'cause it become out
now, what happens when you're faced with that decision of, I have an opportunity now to own my own content.
Right,
if I own my own content, that means all the money's coming to me. However, if I have the label that I'm depending on, I can create the content and know that there's something they're gonna push.
Yeah, and I definitely feel for the.
So I don't.
To be an artist right now is extremely more difficult than it was maybe 5 to 10 years ago, because like as of now, claim to fame is.
I don't think it's harder.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Financially, absolutely, it is.
Financially, I'm saying
for an artist to come out right now, unless you're signed into a label, how else are you going to get financial
from the
compensation?
concept of just coming out with something? Period. It's not hard.
It's not hard to do. It's hard to get paid.
Hard to get paid and low key hard to get noticed. You got to put in work. It's not easy.
Absolutely, it's hard because everything is going through streaming. Everything. Think about it. When was the last time you bought a CD?
Here's my thing, and I see somebody shaking their head about
He is.
But my thing, because
I ain't paying attention to him.
No, I disagree because I'm saying anybody can drop a track, whatever. The problem I have, and I know the problem I have. No, here's the thing. The problem I have is that artists they're lazy. Honestly. That's the problem I have with artists. That's why I'm saying.
But that's not the argument. The argument is whether or not
you just said it's easy.
No, I'm saying artists are lazy, but the difficulty is especially if you're trying to be a full-time artist, it will be it's impeccably difficult to become financially stable.
I'm straight gonna ask this question to Dave as soon the producer.
Yeah, he's getting his chorus right up. He said he wasn't here
because I know he has way more intellect on this than even I do. And
I know there's a battle right now legally for artists to make more money off of streaming now. Like there's definitely a battle with that going on. But so think about it. What is another venue outside of SoundCloud, which nobody's listening to? What is another venue?
Nigga, you are lying.
What is it?
You are a
I'm trying to
charlatan
tell you.
and a deceiver, and you light skin, and it's 3 people in here that got on glasses, and you making the other 2 look bad. Do not sit here and spew this filth out
don't
your
think so.
mouth.
So-
you disrespectful. Oh my goodness. It's your
Dave-
first time meeting you too.
Absolutely.
Steven.
Yeah. So please, Dave, help explain to me how
I don't even know what the context is. What are we talking about?
So
artists being financially compensated
Okay.
right now, how it's more financially difficult for an artist to make money off of their music, especially if you're no name that says, you know what, I want to pursue a career
I
in
disagree.
music
versus
I disagree entirely. Go ahead,
Versus-
Cecil.
if you're not
And I disagree too.
if you're not on a label. Because guess where are people listening to music at now? No one's buying CDs anymore. So if
They're
a dude
listening-
wanted to make a CD, go out to
Spotify, Pandora.
Pandora,
Spotify-
SoundCloud is still
so
existing.
all of these are streaming areas, right?
Okay.
Brothers can't go out. Nobody's going outside anymore handing out CDs. Hey, listen to my mixtape, or at concerts with CD tracks.
Social
where they
media.
did
but
put-
social media.
But social media. But I'm saying everything has adjusted. So because I'm not passing out a CD out of my trunk, and the
Are
audience
you an
know
artist?
I'm a spoken word artist,
Here we go.
that,
so I have it worse than someone doing music.
So I'm gonna tell you all the reasons why I disagree with you.
Okay.
One, I deal with hundreds of artists every single month
yeah.
Okay.
who are always seeking advice from me.
Okay.
At least, if I'm working with 100 artists a month,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say at least 30 to 40% of them make at least, and this is not a living,
Mm-hmm.
make at least $12,000 to $15,000 a year on their music.
12 to 15,000 a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is not a living, but
Especially in California.
of course,
hell,
especially in
yeah.
California. But but I'm talking about from streaming numbers.
Okay.
So that's not including features.
Okay.
That's not including shows. There's still shows happening,
Money
especially
that-
especially last year.
and money to put down to produce.
What you call it? They get their beats off of they get their beats off of YouTube.
YouTube. Right.
And then they
Okay.
and then they lease them for $25 a pop.
Then they come
Okay.
to you and be like, "Yo, can I get a record on this beat?"
No, not that. So first of all, it's not expensive to be an artist no more. You could go on YouTube
not.
and you could find
Yeah, I don't.
you can find your beats, and then if you want to lease a beat, you could lease a beat for $15 to $30, and then they have deals where you buy one get 3 free. So now you got 4 beats
Okay.
for $30 that
Okay.
you can use.
Got an EP
legally.
right there.
Then you could either buy your own equipment and sound decent, which could cost anywhere from $200 to $500, right? Depending on what little bundle you get from sweetwater.com. Okay. Then you go home, and then you go on Amazon and you don't buy the Chaotica eyeball. You buy the alternate version that costs $50, the one that Amazon makes, and that's $50. And so now to get 4 beats, it costs you $30. To get a mic and an interface bundle, it costs you $250. To get that, you're only $330 in. All right?
Okay.
Cool. Solid. Then if you're gonna record, you can get templates. You can get templates to make your vocals sound good for free, and you could get a free version of Pro Tools
Okay.
from their website, or FL Studio,
Okay.
or GarageBand, which all comes on a Mac. Okay, all that stuff you could get for free,
Or Audacity for free.
or Audacity for free. All right, so now you're still only maybe $330 in. Then you record, and then you have to get a DistroKid account. I will just say DistroKid because I use DistroKid, which at the minimum costs $19. So that's $20 to release as much music as you want. And then it's released onto every single store. Then after that, if you have maybe another $100 in revenue, so what, that was $330, and then plus the 20, we're at $350. If you have $100, you could use that $100 to promote your stuff on Instagram or Facebook or Spotify promotions, and then you could get thousands and thousands of impressions for $100. Now people that haven't,
Cops are here.
Popo.
Uh-oh. I said that Popo gonna be knocking at
But
your
what
door.
but to his point, what I'm saying is, it's because you were saying it's harder, right? That's what you were saying.
I say it's difficult now to financially make
Right.
more money or to recoup as an artist making money nowadays.
So yeah.
So basically, the issue is not just the ability to make money, but to distinguish yourself from the other thousands.
And then after you do that, after you spend your $100, what happens is that you start to be able to reach people that have never heard your music before. And then if you're consistent,
that's if they decide to click on it.
Consistency is also key.
But that's if they decide to click on it.
That's fine.
But that,
is
key.
That's where, for me, that's where I say it's not as easy, because you have to. There's time and dedication you need to put in. It's not going to happen overnight. And some people have this idea that, just like
right.
this,
No, so that's what I'm saying.
Because Soulja Boy did that at home.
No, bro. Come on. I know you're not going to use a 15-year-old
Please don't do that.
reference, bro. Come on, stop it.
No. I'm not. I'm just saying that some people have that mindset that.
So then it's not that it's hard. Having the mindset is hard.
That's
two different things. Having the mindset to go get it versus it being hard to get is two different things.
So
it's easy to go to work. So it's easy to get a job.
So how they're financially being compensated?
Bro, I just gave you a breakdown where it only costs you maybe $450.
I'm not saying
that's less than a PS5. So people are definitely already
to make
dropping
the
that
money.
much.
I'm saying to produce the money to create an album is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about revenue.
So to make your money back, if you need to, all you gotta do is get 100,000 streams. That's not a lot.
100,000 streams to get the money the $500 that you put.
Wait, I take that back. It might be less than that, but let's just say
nowadays, yeah,
it might be less than that. 100,000 streams, and 100,000 streams is not a lot when you're doing things the right way. And to figure out how to do things the right way with all the education that's out there online, it's not difficult to figure out how to do things the right way. So that's what I'm saying.
But I'm hearing this from other artists themselves that have done it the right way. Are doing it.
They think they've done it the right way.
They can't make money off of streaming.
No,
but that's not. This is why I'm saying there's too many resources.
Because from someone that deals with artists,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's too many.
I don't even know why this is an argument. For someone that deals, I guess it is because we have to have the conversation because we're on a podcast. But for someone that deals with artists all the time,
how many of those are making all their money back?
I got 4 of them in the studio right now.
But you have hundreds of them, though. You said that, right?
Okay, so that's already 4%.
So only
out of the 100 that come.
So 4% out of the 100 that come are.
That's 4 right there. That's 4 right there.
Okay, that's 4.
That's 4 right there, and I could probably think of.
But majority are not even doing it the right way. Period.
This is what most people do. Let me download my beat off of YouTube for free.
Step 1.
Let me record to it in some trash studio.
Step 2.
Let me upload to SoundCloud.
So the quality. We're talking about quality.
It could be good quality. They come to my studio and then upload to SoundCloud for free. Tell their friends, hey, I got a song out. Promote it for a week and a half. They get sad that it didn't become a hit. They move on to the next thing. Oh man, people ain't feeling with me.
They don't know you though. But
that's not. I don't care. Like
I'm just saying, you got to keep creating.
You don't know the artist that comes out on Universal.
Like knowing you doesn't mean anything.
That takes investment.
Right.
That takes investment.
Knowing you doesn't mean anything, but especially in our generation.
And then, the reason why a lot of these people ain't making no money because they're not good anyway.
Correct.
It's my experience.
Correct.
There's a lot of people that are making music that don't have no business making music because they're fans of music. But now that it's easy to make music, they make the music because they can, not because they should be.
And that's why I said from the aspect of anybody could put out a record. That's one.
Absolutely.
But the flip side of that is being able to have consistency,
right? And
being able to now, even if your track, and even if say you are good at what you do, and that track or that record it came out whack, maybe that was a fail. You have to be able to keep going and reinvent and make sure you keep creating for better, but don't just move on or just give up and just then be lazy and then go MIA.
Correct.
And then now you miss out a chance to recoup and get the revenue that you spent. That's what I'm saying. So it's not. I still think it's not hard to.
But you can be a quality artist, quality lyrics, quality sound, good music, and still be out here struggling. Because the name of music and
that's whose fault
has changed. No, the internet.
That's the internet's fault.
It's technology's fault. They're destroying the world. But anyway. But no, I'm just saying you can still have quality art. I think today's point, I do think it comes down to you not having an inner circle that's honest enough with you to tell you, dude, you trash. You know, not even trash. Like, dude, this is not the venue for you. Or if this is something that you're truly passionate about, dude, you got to study under somebody. You gotta let people. A lot of people are too sensitive to a lot of people listen to their work and have it critiqued. Right.
So whose fault? Like that. My thing is still this: if you still got the proper, if you don't have the right people around you for that, if we're in that context.
So how much are people making off a stream? 100,000 streams can bring you how much in revenue?
If it's on Tidal, you make 0.0012
cents, right?
Yes.
So how much is that?
If it's Spotify, I believe it's like 0.3043, and then
you're not even making whole sense yet. And I'm not SENSE.
But that's
C-E.
per stream for
Yeah.
one stream.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the 100K matters.
Yeah, bro. But I'm saying, like,
so 100K. How much does that come out to?
bet you, okay, and mind you, this is my first time meeting you, and I hope there's going to be another time after
Yes,
this.
I'm pretty sure there will.
Because I'm direct and very shocking. You have the way that you're talking. It sounds like a lot of artists that already have that defeatist mentality. And so they go in there without not wanting to do enough work because they're scared of the 0.0043% for the 0.0043.
So they look at that. They look at that and be like,
and
"What's the
like,
point?"
Man, what's the point? And
Exactly.
I just get it out
Yeah.
for free. And if someone messes with it, they do. And if they don't, then well, you know what I'm saying? Because there's too many people out here. Because the reality is this: I'm not saying that it's easy to become. Let's set a low bar for someone that's known. I'm not saying it's easy to become
Bruno Mars.
If I say some names, then people that might hear this podcast might get offended.
So I was gonna say,
I'm not saying that it's easy to become a Cardi B, because it's not. Because truthfully, I think it's like 43,000 songs are uploaded to Spotify every single day.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying? That's every single day.
So how, and so then it becomes, how do you get recognized amongst those 43,000 songs?
And so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The reason why it's easy, because me and my other friends, we were having a conversation about this on the phone the other day. The difference between mainstream and underground. Back in the day, you were underground. You were usually underground because of this, because you may have been a good artist, but you had a very abstract sound, and labels didn't know what to do with you. So they didn't know if they signed you, they didn't know what to do. So you remained underground because other people would find out about you, and since there was no internet, you would only be known if you were heard and passed around. Right. So that was the underground. Now the underground is broken because we have the internet. So if you since you have the internet and there's so much accessibility to everybody, you could push your music out to people. You could literally, I'm sure you've been on Instagram, you've seen it. You're scrolling through and you see a new song that you've never heard before. But if you take time to make sure that your visuals are engaging, that at least there's quality and at least there's substance, and at least you're somewhat decent, and you work with a good engineer, charisma, all it's so many different things. I'm just giving like the bare basic bones of, I'm giving you the atoms of the skin before we even get to the bone of it. But you know what I'm saying?
That
like,
most people still don't have.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's easier to get these four people right here to mess with you than it was ever before. So you just need one person at a time. So if you could just, over the next year, just get one person a day. You know what I'm saying? That is 365 people in a year to follow you. And if you could get them, if you could convert that into like 50% sales, like what's 150 times 10? That's already $1,500. You feel what I'm saying? 365 divided by half is like what? I'm just gonna say like somewhere around $1,800. You've already made $1,800 if you just get one person a day to mess with you through that promotion. So it's not that difficult. So we're talking about like, 365 people every single year, and it'll probably be more than that as time goes on. But let's just say if you stayed at that, so if you double that over 4 years, now just in sales by themselves, selling your album, you can make $4,500 a year per one album. And that's saying if you don't release multiple projects. So if you have 450 people buying your stuff, you feel what I'm saying? And then you release 3 projects already in 3 to 4 projects.
Close to 14 grand.
You know what I'm saying? No, that's more like 18 grand. Yes. And that's just on purchases. 4,500 times 4 is 18,000.
Yeah, 18.
I thought you said
what purchases
5 times 2, carry the 2.
These are purchases off iTunes.
Is anybody buying
a project for $9.99?
Okay, but
people don't do that anymore.
If you get one, Yes, they do.
People still do. It's
They
just a
still purchase it.
majority.
Majority does not do that,
don't,
though.
But they
because you
still
can
do.
get it.
But they
purchase
still
it.
do. So I think what
It's
you're
finding
saying
a
is
small niche. You need to
A
find
fall-
a loyal niche.
Loyal
So if you
community
get
of
one
individuals
person-
that would be willing to spend that $10 on
But
buying
then,
it on.
again, the thing
on
is too, there's
iTunes.
more than one way to make revenue too. You know, if you're able to build a following, like you'll have some that buy the music. You'll also have some that will just donate money because they want to, and you also have some who may buy merch.
Then you have merch, and then you have
Yeah.
the streams still add up, even if
Yeah,
you don't
you
think
still
content
get
creation
the-
comes
you
into
think
play.
it's still not that much, and then people still buy physicals, and then if you go to a show, and then really,
How often are people buying physicals?
bro, if you're I don't know what type of podcast this is, but if you're dealing with Christian people, they'll buy your physical.
Yeah.
Even if they ain't not
That's
listening, the mother will come up and buy 5
Yeah.
just off the strength of I'm gonna give it to the babies in the church.
That's why I always say charisma goes a long way, because if
But
you're able
see-
to build up a following,
So you
they'll-
can buy
they'll
physicals,
support
but
you.
when was the last time you saw somebody with a CD player?
It doesn't matter.
It don't
bro.
matter.
If you trying to make the bread,
Make the
all you
money.
got is they
That's
buy
the
it.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't care what you got in your trunk or your home.
Buy my physical and still listen to it on iTunes
Yeah,
again.
like, do you?
But I'm saying the reality of it is like,
All right, so look, I'm gonna show you something without don't mention the name of this artist, right? Look,
Okay.
Look at this. That's 9,100 listeners every single month, right?
okay,
All right, cool. So how many streams did I tell you that it costs to make 4,500 back? It's like
100,000.
100,000. Okay, so
Okay.
like in 10 months he'll make that back.
you said in 10 minutes,
10 months.
10 months. Okay, I'm sorry.
And some people have,
And that's if it remains stagnant like that. If there's no growth.
and that's just without growth. And this has been growing over time. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if you focus, and this is always this thing with every artist I always talk to and coming in here, and I didn't mean to make this a mini TED talk. If you focus on
No, he's learning.
if you focus on progression, then you'll get to where you need to go. And I was telling
Yeah.
my little brother that I was shaving my head with the homie the other day, and I didn't want to get
You shaving your head with them?
with the homie on FaceTime.
Oh.
I was shaving my head. I didn't want to get shaving
Got
cream
it.
on my shirt, and so I was like, let me take my shirt off. And then I saw what my body looked like on FaceTime from his end. And I humbled myself. And so, but I reminded myself, because I tell people the same thing. You can't be mad of where you at as long as you're progressing.
Right.
As long as you're getting better. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of these artists aren't patient enough to get better and keep on going because they want it now. Everything's about
So you saying
instant gratification.
instant gratification?
Keep
right.
it pushing and get to where you need to be so you can make that happen. And some people don't have the balls or the grit to get that far. That's why they give up and they say it's not worth it.
Right.
Or they see like mom and daddy or cousin, brother, or that homie that I was cool with for the past 10 years. They didn't click or like on it. But I'm just saying, like,
The easiest way
I'm
to
not
look
saying
at
it's
it-
difficult to put out a good project and have quality with it. All I'm saying is that I've seen a lot more people struggle unless they're a bigger name.
Well, I think this most
I don't-
simplest way to
If
look at it is just
but
like
you-
look at how
but you
podcasts
guys just
are made.
but just you
you know?
got said it
And
again.
look at
Abram.
how podcasts are made in the sense of there's an oversaturation of podcasts, especially nowadays. Similar with music,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to put in the time and effort. I mean, sometimes
Correct.
money has to be invested, and Cecil is you cannot Cecil. He's very aware of
Very.
how much
So, like,
time, energy is put into making a podcast and how slow a process it is. But when it gets going, you start to see
Right.
that growth, and it's just a matter of time. You know.
like I've seen podcasts, I've seen artists that just put in the work. I think even what Dave was talking about, like when people see numbers and they see all this stuff, and the moment they don't see it for them, then it's like, well, what am I doing this? What am I doing? You know, what? How come this isn't working? And they feel like all of a sudden now they got to just abandon ship when really it's just consistency.
Wait, Sir Dave.
Wait. I just want to correct what I was saying, because when I first gave all the numbers of what it takes to invest into yourself, I said $450, but then I started talking real fast, and then I started saying $4,500. I don't want to put out misinformation when people think
Right.
all I need is 100,000.
All you need?
100,000 streams.
All right.
That's what we knew.
Dave told me I just need an additional 100.
100,000 streams just to make 4,500. You need 100,000 streams to make 450, because that was the initial numbers that I started talking about. Okay.
$450 for 100,000 streams. So that's not just 100,000 people looking at you. That's how many times people hit play.
Yes.
And what is it? You only need them to listen to what, like 30 seconds?
I forget
30?
the amount of
I think
seconds.
it's 30.
think it's about 30 seconds, and it counts as one play.
Hey.
So does that discourage you out of that TED Talk, Steven?
No, it doesn't discourage me. I still think that there's some level because even in this conversation, it's not just the music. It's like, oh well, you got to do merch and additional things, and yes,
But that should be automatic.
It does
though.
take a lot of work, but I mean, you got to understand, there's an incredibly large catalog of artists out here,
right, and half of them are not doing anything.
and I'm not saying that to discourage anybody from being an artist. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking Steven's saying you should not be an artist, I am not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that to be financially compensated for that is going to take an extremely. Don't give up your day job is what I'm saying. As you're trying to find your way to becoming an artist until you come into a position to where your streams, merch, and whatever thing is working for you. Because that's going to be work. You're going to be able to
But still put the time in though. Like
yeah, still to put the time
put
in.
the effort in the actual dedication
Lose sleep
to
if you
that.
have to, but I'm just saying it's going to take a lot of work, and I don't. A lot of people just stop everything unless you got some in the bank, you got something saved up or enough money for a year to be able to like specifically focus on music, which I also recommend is a good idea. But I'm just saying the revenue aspect of it seems very complicated for someone who's a no name.
I think it's only complicated.
There's licensing.
Yeah, there's licensing. I think
How much is license?
It depends.
On?
I got paid 4 figures for 10 seconds of a track in a movie that I never saw.
Yeah.
Okay. So, question: is it more financially sufficient to become someone that produces music,
Yes.
or an artist?
producing easily.
Why?
I have 100 clients a month.
He has 100 clients a month.
So wait. That's it. that's it. I have 100 clients a month.
He has 100 clients a month.
Okay,
right?
what math comes after that?
What-
You have 100 clients
On the
a month?
low end.
Sir, on the low end. Okay, sir. How much are you charging artists to be able to
Hey,
pay?
bro, I'm not putting my.
Yeah, you're not
Oh,
putting
okay,
no.
Okay.
I'll tell you if you can you bleep it.
Bleep it.
Yeah.
So on the low end, per client it's $100
Hour
per session.
Per session.
per session. Okay.
How long is the average session?
3 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's decent.
That's actually solid.
That's solid.
5 hours,
But that's on the
Low
The
end.
low end.
On the low end.
Okay. That's
And considering, but you have to consider the quality, considering time, considering, like, that's a win.
And so
it's
if
a
I'm breaking
win-win.
that, that's just coming in just to book your time to record.
Right.
That doesn't include what I might
Mastering
make. That
and all
doesn't
that.
include what I might make for mixing it. That doesn't include what I might make for producing your track. That might not include what I get to sit down and consult you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though since I'm talking fast and I'm half asleep because I only had 2 hours of sleep, I might be getting back consulting today. But still, nevertheless, like if you want to make money in the music industry, it's always easier to be maybe not a producer, but someone that's behind the scenes, because you have to provide a service
Right.
to the people that want to be up front.
I feel like I look at it like this: if you're able to stand in the gap and provide something that they don't have, then you'll always be, 1, relevant, and 2, needed. Like,
and that's why every artist signs a contract, because they're able to provide them something that they can't produce on their own
provide.
in a short period of time, without the necessary connections that they need to have in order to get their projects to a mass audience.
But the thing that I get what you're saying. I think at the end of the day, though, going back all the way back to what even Kanye's rant was about, the fact that when now you have everything that you need,
Mm-hmm.
and you got the songs, you got the catalog, you got all the stuff. Now it's like, well, wait a minute. I'm making this much, but I should be having more. Why? Because now these other people that I signed the contract to, now have rights over my stuff. So they're getting pretty much most, not all, but a good percentage of the profit, because now I am signed to this. So going back to the point of artists being able to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm missing out on some revenue because I'm attached to this, when I can just do my own and create my own content and own and be over my own content instead of creating my own content and somebody else being over my content and they had no input, no nothing to do with
Absolutely.
what I'm doing. So people like I'm trying to think of somebody, Russ, like he's a hip hop artist. He's technically indie. He has no label, owns his own content, owns his own masters, everything. I just said a name earlier and I can't think of it. That is in that same path.
Chance.
Jay-Z just got his own masters back through that whole
All
process.
of his.
But Chance the Rapper is an example too. So it takes work. I still am on the side of just don't be lazy. I think there are good artists even out here where we're at that are just lazy. So that this conversation of content and all that stuff really don't exist because you're just lazy. You don't do anything.
I'm not saying content and lazy. I'm pretty sure that I'm listening to plenty of people that are out there putting the work in, and I think it boils down to the intentions of why you're doing it. I think those who are much more authentic, typically go further along in it. I'm just saying that, and I guess I'm outnumbered in this room with this thought.
You're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Dave told me that enough times for me to be able to get that I'm wrong. He thinks I'm wrong, and he hopes I come back so he can prove that I'm wrong again.